Yeah.
Oh, welcome to Meet the Judges. Glad you can join us. And today we have Augustus Peters with us. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, what's very special about Mr. Peters is that he tunes pans, and it's not very often that we get a chance to have a tuner during a podcast. So we're going to listen to his story and find out how it all started, and we're really excited. So, how did you get into this job of being a pan tuner?
I have to give you credit to Miss Anne Marie Harry. That was my teacher in school who was in charge of the steel band at school. And she was very she was demanding because I didn't want to go. There was a upcoming course with the through the Pan and School Coordinating Council, and they had Jimmy Phillips doing this course. And she was like, all right, they're gonna do this course and I want you to be there. And I was like, Miss, I don't want to learn about pan making. And she was like, Tush, you need to be there, boy. And yeah, we got there. And when I saw the process and Jimmy Phillip, he was explaining, and it was love at first sight. And yeah, I never looked back from since 2004 to now.
Wow, 2004. That's over 20 years. Over 20
Yes.
years is such wow, wow. So there's a lot of craftsmanship involved with all of this. Can you talk us through the process? How do you tune a pan?
Well, from the tuning would only be possible if the construction is good,
Mm.
right? So firstly, you need to select a proper drum. Make sure it's not too thin. Make sure the material it sound good. Sometimes we hit the drum to test to see what kind of sound we get when we just tap the drum. But you select your drum, you do your proper syncing, you mark out your notes, you do your grooving. Because if these things are not done right, yeah, the tuning could be a disaster.
Yeah.
But like once those parts are done right, we'd cut it off, and then as the tuner, we might do some extra work, like shaping the notes a little more and getting things set up how I would want it. Every tuner have a slightly different approach. And then we'll do the heat treatment where we place it on a fire for about 5 minutes. Um, and then that's where we start the tuning process,
Mm-mm,
right?
mm-mm.
And so we turn the drums on the other side, and we start raising the notes, and we turn it back, and we make sure that around all the notes are very tight. And then we start, you know, searching for sound and stuff. We have a machine to guide us, to tell us what pitch is what. And a note is made up of fundamental and octave. So the longer you're in it, you learn to hear all these different parts of the notes now, what we call them partials and harmonics and stuff. So it could get technical, but when I just started, it was just fundamental and octave. So we keep searching for them with using our hammer. And yeah, the tuning, when I now started, sometimes it taking you weeks to tune up. And because remember, you're now learning, you're practicing to hear and stuff. And as you begin to practice more, your ears begin to develop your hammer technique, and you start to learn different stuff looking at different tuners. And yeah, that is basically how the tuning does go in a nutshell. Yeah.
So, do you have to do like an internship with someone at the same time to learn how to do it? How long does that take?
Well, and I would always recommend that internship, because it could be very frustrating when you're on your own, just trying all kind of different things. You could reach that place where you're stuck. So after we did the course by Jimmy Phillip, um, there was another course at Panland TTIL, and I attended that, where the course ran for about a year and a half, and then I stayed on as a worker, as an employee. well, kind of intern slash employee where I was able to, yeah,
Mhm.
like we call it on the job training here, OJT, is stay on and you're working. But the good thing with Panland is that we were doing these little mini pans. So we used to do the factory used to produce like thousands of them, right? So
Mini
you had
pans. What size?
pans to practice on every day.
Whoa.
Huh?
Mini pans. What size were the mini pans? Because they're
Yeah,
usually.
like little toy pans. Yeah, they have a lot of different diameters, like 7 inches, 8 inches, 6 inches, a number of different sizes. Yeah. So they had like Mr. Cooper, they would send Panland would send pans to all different toy stores, Toys R Us, like all over the world with stuff. So we started doing like thousands, right? Like 8,000, 9,000. At one time, that's all the factory was doing, these little mini pans.
Wow. Mini pans. Oh, it's
Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that helped me develop being in a space where you could practice every day. And then if you become stuck, you could go and you could ask another tuner. You knock on the door, Mario, what's going on? This note gave me some problems here, but and you have more senior people who could guide you and show you little tips and tricks. Yeah, so internship is very, very important. But if you're on the own in the desert, yeah, it's very rough, but
so for you, what would be the most satisfying part of tuning?
when the note is actually near, you're working on a note.
Mhm.
Yeah, when you're working on a note and it's just something telling you, oh, I can feel this note coming when from the transition from songing like metal
Mm.
and the song keep getting closer and you just start to get this rich song the more you hammer and stuff. Yeah, that to me is very, very satisfying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's true that sometimes we say, "Oh, can you just tune a pan?" There's more to it than just tuning a pan. I think it's more of your feeling
Oh yeah,
personal.
definitely. Yeah.
Personally, because I know sometimes here in France, when we get our pans tuned by people and stuff, we just say, "Oh, they should get it done," but it's not just get it done. It's more than that. It's almost like
Yeah.
magic or something. I don't know because
Oh yeah. For me it's like a real it's like a real personal thing. I look at it as like, you're breathing life into something,
Mhm.
you know, because initially when you start like from making the pan and doing all that part before, you're not sure what this pan going to come out like. I mean, you have in your head where you would want it to be like, but it don't always go as you plan. So you had to work it and mold it to suit. Yeah, and every pan is like unique, boy. Every pan you do is like really, really unique.
so it's kind of like you have a personal attachment with the pan after.
Oh yeah. Definitely, boy. And what happens as well is that sometimes we do a pan and it's like, oh, I like this pan, boy. Or I might like, let's say I do three instruments and I might like this one the best. But then after about 4 years, you see the instruments with a client, they bring it back to tune and it's like the one that you didn't like the most, it kind of is like fine wine, it's settled and it was like, oh, this part is so rich now, like.
Mhm.
So sometimes at the beginning, it's not always what you want. The metal need time to settle and to relax. As we say, the pan need to break in or break out. And, so it's have a lot. So the pan that you do now is not necessarily the pan you would see 5 years
Oh yeah,
from now or 10 years. It might be a whole new, yes. It's just like persons, like individuals.
yeah,
You know them as little children and then as they grow, it's like, wow, they just change up, you know?
yeah, definitely. What was the maybe the oldest pan that you've tuned before?
Oldest from like what I did,
Yeah, yeah.
um probably one that from about 15 years ago,
Mm.
or 14 years ago that I produced. Because I used to like write little notes on the skirt and like the year and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. But outside of what I did, I was fortunate to tune pans like from Lincoln Oil from way back, boy, like back way back. Um I think these pans could have been done like by either Ellie Manet or Nazi or one
Mhm.
of these guys from Invaders, right? Invaders style pan
Yeah.
in England. It was really old. Steel was heavy, a ton of pan was solid, very, very heavy, right?
I think I have one.
Okay, okay.
I don't think we can tune it anymore.
Yeah,
30 years old. It's really, but it has character. The sound has character.
yeah,
That's
yeah. The steel back then was so much more like pure. It was solid, really, really, really heavy. Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah, it's a complete, but it's I think it's complementary with the sound we have today to have that sound from back then. Because it's kind of,
yeah,
I don't have the right words or vocabulary to maybe describe the type of tone that it has. I mean, you're the professional.
yeah. I could definitely understand.
Yeah, and that's for sure. And because I know, for example, the part of the association that I'm in that we play, it existed for about 30 years now. So some of the pans are from the beginning. Woo!
Wow. Okay. Nice.
But sometimes we have to have a turnover and get new pans because after a
Yeah.
while, it's difficult to bring them back to life because the metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
What challenges do you see in the future for tuning?
I know one of the things for sure. I think the quality of steel is kind of just going down, and I'm not sure if it's because of like the recycling of material, but certain quality of steel they used to get 15, 20 years ago.
Yes.
Like now you're getting all kind of strange metal, the metal responding differently. Um, so that is one of the challenges. Getting a proper supply of quality steel. Um, and more on the finishing side, like with the chroming. I know a lot of countries where because chroming produce a lot of waste, so everybody is looking at going green. So a lot of chrome factories are closing down worldwide. They're trying to minimize that. Um, and just more involvement generally, like you need to get more persons involved, more tuners. It's a proper training to produce because tuners are always so scarce, you
Yeah.
know, very, very rare. Way. I mean, at first for me it was fun because because it's so rare, you'll get a lot of jobs, but then after a while it's like, well, I can't do everything. I can't be here, I can't be there. It's like, so you always need succession planning. So you need to get more tuners, more younger tuners involved. And it takes time to develop because when I now started, it took me roughly maybe 8 to 10 years before somebody would actually probably just like purchase a pan and say, oh, I like the sound of it, and then you start building from there. And so you need roughly 10 years to develop your ear, to develop all your techniques and to kind of help with the growth now of the craft and stuff. So yeah, if we don't get much more persons being involved or like producing more tuners, then yeah, we would have a shortage and we'd have a whole lot of pans worldwide and
Yeah.
not enough qualified people to try to service them.
Hmm.
So
Maybe there should be kind of like a scholarship.
as one issue.
We need that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think is also important for persons to understand because a lot of people well I've had a lot of experiences where you travel abroad and you tune in and a lot of people think you just sit there with a hammer and you hit the note twice and it fixed already and they think that they could do it now. DIY, I could do it my own, or you go on YouTube and you check a video and
Mm.
yeah, they end up in problems with it. although sometime we hammer just twice and the note is fixed, it is years of experience it take to reach to that point, you know?
It's
So
sometimes I see it as magic. I don't know how. I don't know how it's done.
yeah.
I think one time I dropped a tenor pan in the street in London during the carnival, and it looked
Wow.
like somebody punched it through, but it didn't go completely through.
Wow.
See it, and I said, "Oh!" I cried because that you don't want to hurt a pan. And
Yeah.
what's his name? I forget the name of the tuner. I think you know him. He was able to put it back the way it was within 2 hours. I don't know how he did it. I don't
Okay.
know how he did it. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I just it's an art. Thank you for what you do. It's
Yeah. 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 Welcome.
really because we hear it. We hear it when we're playing. When we know it's a little bit off and it's not. We can hear it definitely. And the person who touches our pans, we can feel what they've been doing. That's why it's
Yeah. Yeah.
who tuned your pan. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have people who are still doing it. Thank you though for doing that because if we're it wouldn't be, this art of steel pan today. I mean, it wouldn't be possible. So, you're also a musician at the same time. You also play, or you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what kind of
Yeah.
music?
But I don't. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all right. And what kind of music inspires you, maybe in the background in your head when you're playing, or even when you're tuning? Because sometimes probably some different notes come to mind.
Yeah. So what happened? I like music in general, but sometimes for me I'd be tuning a pan and I say, you know what? Yeah, this fan will sound good, playing a classical or a waltz because it might be getting some notes very clean and clear, and you can kind of imagine or visualize or hear this fan performing already now. So it's like, well, yeah, this fan are tuning a tenor pan and it have a big loud song. I say, yeah, this would do very, very good in like Panorama and stuff, that kind of brass, it kind of compare it to brass and stuff. So, but I am inspired by all types of music.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So you get to also
So,
tune during different panoramas, like in London, Toronto, and Brooklyn, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
I
made.
haven't been to Brooklyn for the last maybe 2 or 3 years, because the schedule keep mixing up. Like for the time I have to go to Japan and stuff. So,
Oh, Japan. When was the last time you were in Japan?
last year I go every year. I was going every year for probably the last 7 years. Well, except for the that COVID period, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah, so we
Tune.
go there annually to do the tuning and stuff. And I mean, it's nice. You get to see. Sometimes we go out and play on the gig. Sometimes a person can't make it, and you had to learn a song, and just cover cover for them.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh, that's nice. That must be very nice from time to time to do that. Hmm. Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always fun for me. It's always fun playing. I think that is where the passion started. With the playing, I was heading down that part. I wanted to play piano, I wanted to be a soloist and stuff. And I mean, I grew up in church, so I was always around music. Around the keyboards, the drums. And well, in church, every time they sing, a lot of church musicians are really talented with just reharmonizing and chords and stuff. So, you're in music very often, right? Every Sunday during the week and stuff. So when I started with the pan, I was like, you know what? Going and do music. I want to become this soloist. So I used to be playing a lot, all the stuff now. So that's one of the things that kind of helped me from a musical perspective. So that by the time I got involved with the pan tuning, I was able to identify, oh, there's a fifth, there's a fourth, there's a third. So it kind of helped my progress with the tuning. So it's recommended to know some kind of music if you're getting into the tuning. Yeah. So it make it much easier.
Definitely. I think that could help. Also helps with your ear and culture in general.
Yeah. Hmm.
So much to learn, and I don't think we could ever stop learning. Yeah.
Oh, and learning is, yeah, is ongoing. Yeah.
Ongoing because music changes and music is life. I think music is life. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I agree.
So how do you see the future of steel pan?
Um, the future of steel pan for me it looks very bright. Like you see where so those who have gone before would have gotten this far, and so those who are coming after were able to have something to work with, and everything keeps progressing. So I think once we stay in that vein, yeah, the future would be very, very bright. We are young, talented players that I have a little nephew, like, they have perfect pitch, but they don't even know because they're not really into the music that deep. But it's like I hear in this note, and yeah, I think it's this note, and you're hearing it, and so we have so much of talent just all around the place, and I kind of excited to see when they really start to grow older and they start to get involved, how they would evolve, and how they would grow. So it's very excited to see like newer arrangers emerging, and because you're not sure, because like when somebody just start, you're not sure where they're going to be in the next 10, 15 years. So it's always an excitement, like, yeah. So I think the future is very bright, yeah.
Good, good. Because I can hear it in your voice, so it must be true.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Always excited for that.
Yeah, yeah. And the new arrangers, the younger arrangers who are really taking the time and finding out the history and bringing it into the future, it also helps. And yeah, it does look bright. It really does. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
friends for the last 30 years now too. So, because we love Pan so much.
Okay.
This is why.
Yeah, yeah.
If you had to give any advice to future tuners, what would that be?
Don't give up, be patient, um, and always keep an open mind to like looking at other tuners, and also taking advice now, because I believe you could learn something from everybody, right? So like all I used to go and look at, anyway I hear a pan being tuned, I'd run, go and stand up and look to see what they're doing. It don't matter who it is, go in, look at them and see, because they always have something you could learn, even if it's just a hammer technique or the way how they raise, like it always has something to learn. I think that's one of the things that helped me. So I would give that advice to like future tuners. And you had to be patient, because it's not an overnight thing. You don't learn to tune in a day, in a week, 2 weeks, or 2 years. It don't really have a time for learning this craft, no? So you had to be dedicated, and it's like I view it as a type of, it's like being an athlete. You need to practice as often as possible. You need to practice, you need to train, and that's the only how you would really develop and get better results. No? You need to be patient. Yeah, very, very patient.
Yeah, because we go too fast sometimes. So we need to slow
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah. We wanna learn fast, right?
Yeah, but patience, I think that would be the most important part of it, of the learning process, to be patient, make mistakes and learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. You need to trust the process. But I mean, sometimes it had many times I decided to just pack up my hammer and quit, because yeah, this tuning and making sense, but it's not responding. And again, what I want, and it frustrated by practicing and nothing working out. So plenty times I wanted to give up and just take a day off, take a 2 days off, and relax yourself and come back at it.
Yeah, that is some solid advice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing is, I actually, because I lived it,
Mhm.
and I've been frustrated, like when you now start as a new tuner, nobody is just gonna bring the pan for you to tune, like you had to earn the right
Yeah,
to
yeah.
tune your pan. I remember in the very earlys when I started to do little tuning for band. I went to a band, but I can't remember which band it was, but I think one of the players in the band, a senior player, he ran and he take his pan and he was like, "Oh, I don't want you to tune my pan. I don't know who is he and take." And I was like, ah. So I was like, all right, fair. I was like, fair enough, because I mean, you're young and they're really not, they wouldn't know what you're capable of now. So is that a kind of prove yourself to the market eventually?
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, that community has some thick skin, as we would say here, when you get into this field, because yeah, you don't want to be blamed for destroying somebody pan, or that man change my tone, or them kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, so you had to be patient and just trust the process.
Mhm.
Because eventually a time would come where your ear start to develop and start to make a lot of progress. And then people, I think from the time I was there, where people didn't know what I could do, and I had to prove myself to the market. Now it's a complete turnover. Now where everybody is like, Gus, pan of the tune, I want nobody but Gus touch my pan. So it's like the whoever younger coming up will had to kind of go through that same process. Is that a kind of earn that spot on the market now, based on your work, the work that you're producing, and how you're tuning and stuff. So yeah, it can be a very strenuous process getting in to this, but yeah, you have to be patient. Must be.
Wow. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to take the time to be with us today. It was really wonderful having you. And now we know a little bit more about tuning, and so hopefully one day I'll be able to get to meet you, if you're in London or in Trinidad or something like that, to meet you in
Oh
person.
yeah, yeah. I'd be I'd be in London this year. God spare.
Okay, we'll probably meet up.
Yeah. Again, working with Mangrove. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from Mangrove. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So,
Yes, I'd look out for you. And I kind of look forward to the different um panoramas, because you hear a bit like the different styles,
mm-hmm.
different countries. Everybody have a slightly different style. Even the arrangers might adjust to suit, So London Panorama have a slightly different color to Trinidad, to New York, even to up the island, Grenada. They are slightly different colors and interpretation. So I kind of look forward to going around and hearing different abilities of the arrangers.
Okay, well, you're gonna hear some. You're gonna hear some.
Yeah, yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, I mean, it's a new, not an entirely new experience for me, but it will be an entirely new experience in terms of on the French side,
French side, yes.
the style of music and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much, though. It's really an honor to have you to do that for us this year. We really do appreciate
But yeah,
it.
you're welcome, man. I hope I don't disappoint, and I'm really looking forward
No,
to
taking
it.
your time, taking your time. We do appreciate it. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So with this, we're going to end this part for Meet the Judges. Again, this was Augustus Peters, and he's helping us out this year, and we really thank him really very much. Merci beaucoup pour ça.
Oh, yes, you're welcome. And thanks for having me again, Yeah.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to your comments. Looking forward to your comments. Okay.
Okay then. Yeah.